Welcome everyone to one of FLATE's webinars. Today we're going to talk about how to increase student diversity in our ET programs, and I believe that a lot of this information will be pertinent to a lot of other programs as well. So hopefully we'll all get a lot of great ideas today from Reuben Rojas, who's the Resettlement Senior Outreach Specialist at Church World Service. So I'm going to take a few minutes and talk a little bit about FLATE for those of you who don't know. I know many of you might know, but we won't take too long before we turn it over to our speakers today. So FLATE's a Center for Advanced Manufacturing Education that is now housed with Florida Makes, which is the Florida Manufacturing Extension Partnership Center that serves manufacturing businesses in our state, small and medium sized primarily, and they're funded through the Department of Commerce at the federal level. So we moved from one federal agency to another, still doing our work as outlined here in curriculum reform and development to support manufacturing, outreach and student recruitment, always trying to get more students engaged in our programs to fill the workforce needs of our manufacturers. We also provide professional development for educators, including this webinar and the whole of the webinar series, but workshops and the conferences and the ET forum as well. And lastly, particularly myself, I dabble a little bit in technician education research with some colleagues around the country nationally on this topic. All right, next. So we do a lot of our work through our college network. This map shows the colleges in Florida that offer the engineering technology associate degree and all of the certificates that are supported by that degree. So shorter term certificates across the state. So there's lots of opportunity to interact with those colleges. And if anyone ever needs to get in touch with their college, if you're in a K-12 or a different education level, we'd be more than happy to help you connect to these programs anywhere in the state where they have such a program. So you can see lots of them. Over 20 of the state colleges now have a ET degree program. Okay, so some of the activities we do to support those big ideas is we do host a lot of outreach events. That includes things like speed networking. We support manufacturing months tours and different activities for students, lots of those, trying to get them interested and familiar first, and then interested in great careers in manufacturing. There's so many different kinds. It's important to show them all the different varieties and technical things they might do if they went to work in manufacturing. We work on keeping the Florida curriculum up to date with our partners at the Florida Department of Education and our educators around the state, and our industry partners, most importantly, telling us what's coming down the pipe and what we need to think about getting into our programs in the coming years. We also have to recognize our educators. We support a manufacturing educator awards program. So it's an annual opportunity to showcase educators at secondary and also post-secondary levels, along with one of their industry partners is recognized as well. And we've recently added another award for the best student event, pretty much supporting Manufacturing Month, even though it might be any time of the year. So those are just about to be released, I believe, like maybe in the next couple of days. Who won these recognitions this year. We're always happy to bring the educators to the forefront and share all the hard work that they do with students, getting them engaged in technical education, especially manufacturing. I mentioned the ET Forum, where we convene the colleges, where we share best practices and learn about new programs and new courses and new directives from our Department of Education. We also recently added a data dashboard to our portfolio. This is the Florida Education and Industry. We'll go there in just a second. And lastly, we do help programs get started, get off their feet. Some of that is new professional development, like these webinars, trying to give ideas for recruiting and how to deal with students, how to get them different kinds of experiences, all of those things to help build better programs. So let's go to the dashboard. Thank you, Teresa. So this particular dashboard, you see there's a link at the bottom. You can go to fl-ate.org/dashboard. Very creative. And what this first map that you'll see has the educational institutions around the state that have a degree or program, sorry, because the high schools are here as well, supporting advanced manufacturing. And you're going to hover over the dots and see what they offer and get more information about those particular programs. So a great way for industry to find programs near them in that they may want to get involved in for recruiting students into their workforce or just helping out the program however they can. There's this is just the beginning of a long, lots of pages with data and information. Besides the educational data from around the state, as you work through the dashboard, you'll find all of the industry data. So the numbers of companies, average wages, demographic information, and on sectors, different sectors of manufacturing, et cetera. So all of that is brought in real time. The education data we provide to the folks who are hosting this on an annual basis. So that will be annually updated on this page, but the rest of it, I think, comes in regularly from those data sources. All right, next. And we have a couple more events to close out the school year here. May 1st, next week, we have another webinar on dual enrollment and early college programs. These are becoming so popular. Great ways to get high school students involved in colleges and good opportunities for getting the CTE programs, getting enrollment in some of the CTE programs. So there's lots of good ideas will be shared about how to do that, or different options for getting those students their hands-on work, plus getting credit for being in your programs, in the college programs. And lastly, closing out the year will be this last of the 4-part series on cybersecurity for manufacturing that Dr. Ron Eglin's been presenting during the year. Lots of good information about, things we should know, things technicians and our students should know about cybersecurity in their particular workplaces. So all of these, all the rest of them, the ones past are now are online, available for watching. It's a good thing to do in the summer when there's no teaching, might not be so much teaching to be done. You might want to check that out. And we are having one more kind of big event this summer, a summer camp for teachers for teaching a new technology skills around that are used in manufacturing, and that will be hosted at St. Pete College, June 12th to 16th, of Summer Teacher Institute. Okay. And here are our websites where you can find lots of good information. Our FLATE website, the middle is our Made in Florida website. That one has our career information, jobs, what is manufacturing month information. It's kind of the recruitment and outreach site. And then lastly, the resource pages that we have, resources that we've developed over the years are housed on a wiki site where you can easily download lesson plans and see recordings of different presentations from different events that we've attended. So lots of opportunity there to, especially for summer. Check those out. And here's our team. So I'm Marilyn Barger. I'm the Senior Education Advisor. Just turned the baton of Executive Director over to Ernie Friend a little over a year ago now. And he's at the board meeting, which I'm happy not to be at, with the Florida Makes today. And not here. Daniele popped in earlier and said hello to everyone. She's the Manager of Career and Technical Education, and Teresa Potter is the woman behind the scenes of the webinar. So that's our team, and contact any of us anytime. And I'll turn it over now to our guests. Reuben, you ready?
Ready to go.
All right. Take it away.
All right, wonderful. So I want to thank everyone for being here. I always say that whenever I open a program like Adobe Photoshop, many other programs that we use, I always check the makers. Who are the makers, the designers? And every time that I check that out, and also when we watch a movie, if we watch the credits at the end, there's so many different last names. So many different last names. And that's just indicative of how people from all over the world bring ideas together to create magic, to create a product, to create something special. So I'm very honored to have an incredible panel today, very distinguished people in their fields with a lot of experience. And some of them are one of the few in their fields doing what they do. They're full of history from each country, culture, and experience. But beyond that, the most important thing that I think the takeaway is, how do we connect FLATE to these groups of people? So Florida, like the United States, is full of a diverse population, full of culture and great ideas, especially food. That's my favorite part. But I think today it's going to be fun because we're going to learn a lot about geography, history. What is it like for the populations in a different country or different state like Florida, and what do they have to offer, right? And from there on, we'll also explore how can we connect with them in Florida, because each group has their own ways of connecting, whether it's a special club or WhatsApp group. How can we find them? How can we connect with them to further continue learning from them, and they can also learn from FLATE in their educational systems, right? So on our diversity panel, we have Mykola Revtov. He's a reverend and doctor, senior vice president of International Ministry Advancement from Ukraine. We have Abdul Khalil Hassani, case manager, church world service, former translator for the U.S. military in Kabul, representing Afghanistan. We have Arivana Rangel, in-kind volunteer specialist, church world service, Miami site from Venezuela. Michaels Deborah Saintville, manager of immigration legal service in Miami-Dade County Office of New Americans. She'll be representing Haiti. And we have Laura Calixto. She's a pilot, Wayman Aviation and the 99s, and she is from Brazil. So we have definitely a very interesting mix of people, full of experience. I'm excited to see it again. I've seen a lot of the presentations, but I enjoy each and every one of them because it's just extremely rich. And actually, we'll go with Arivana. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Teresa, and all the distinguished panelists. Thank you so much to FLATE and Reuben for this amazing invitation. It's an immense honor for me to represent my country, also to represent my organization, Church World Services. And we're ready to talk about Venezuela and their people and all the talent to offer to the United States. Welcome to the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. And here are some of them, our main attractions that we offer from our country. These are pictures from Caracas, Venezuela, the Plaza of Los Próceres. First picture resembles here are some of the main attractives that we offer in Caracas and other regions of our beautiful country. We have beaches, we have Tepuyes, Canaima, we have this amazing cultural heritage, Teatro Teresa Carreño Theater. We have the Avila, it's the biggest mountain that surrounds Caracas. On the first picture, you can see the Plaza Los Próceres, that it's a park that it's a memory for all our national heroes. So about Venezuela, our capital is Caracas. The country has an area of 916,445 square kilometers. Our population, the last estimate number was 28 million. Our languages is Spanish, but of course, Venezuela is well known as a migrant country. After World War II, we received people from Europe, Jewish, from Asia, but mainly from Europe. So we have a very strong community from Italy, from Portugal, from Spain, of course. And also in the 80s, we received a lot of Colombians from all the social issues with the guerrilla, with the drug traffic, and with the borders. So Venezuela is well known to be home of a very huge migrants population. Our life expectancy is men's 67 years and women's 76 years approx. And our climate is tropical, hot, humid, and more moderate in the highlands. And for example, Caracas, our capital, is known to be the city of the eternal spring. We have around a temperature that is near of the 71, 73 Fahrenheit degrees. So it's very warm and it's very cold, and we always have this amazing sunshine during all the calendar years. And about our religions, we are mainly Roman Catholic. All right. So Venezuela went on to be oil producer since 1914. We have the biggest and the largest oil reserves in the world. 300.9 billion barrels. And of course, the prices in Venezuela are among, the gasoline prices in Venezuela are among the cheapest in the world, thanks to its oil reserves. In Venezuela, also as a natural resource, we have the Angel Fall. Is this the highest uninterrupted waterfall in the world? It has a Guinness record, and it's located at the Canaima National Park, declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. And the Canaima Park is the 6th largest national park in the world, and it has the same size as Belgium. It's a wonderful, it's a jewel on the south. Very, very quick, some key dates in our history. Of course, in 1810, Venezuela took advantage of Napoleon's invasion in Spain to declare their independence. Simón Bolívar, who was the most renowned South American leader in Latin America, participated in the formation of the short-lived First Republic. And 2 years later, Venezuela, with a small force recruiting in New Granada, there was this coalition of different countries of the South America. After he captured Caracas in August 1813, the city conferred on him the title of El Libertador, the Liberator. A year later, Bolivar patriotic forces were in full retreat, but when Gran Colombia, present day known as Colombia, Panama, Venezuela, and Ecuador, finally won independence in 1821. Later, we were led by different military leaders, and some of them were dictators. But besides that, Venezuela became the world's largest oil exporter under the dictator Juan Vicente Gomez in around the early 1900s. And after that, in 1945, could establish civilian government after decades of military rule. So in 1958, Admiral Wolfgang Larrazaba outs Marco Perez Jimenez. He was a military also, dictatorship. And Romulo Betancourt won the elections. He was a later, it became the oil boom in our country. We were known around the 1970s and the 1980s as we were called Venezuela Saudi, as an Arabian country, because we had a lot of oil exportation, and of course a lot of bonanza, a lot of resources and finance resources. And later on, in 1989, Carlos Andrés Pérez, elected president in economic depression. There were a lot of riots, and Finally, that exploded in 1992 when Chavez and supporters made two coup attempts, and Chavez went to jail for 2 years for being pardoned. In 1998, Hugo Chavez was elected as a president, and he made a lot of changes on the constitution and established a socialist and populist economic model and social policies. And finally, in 2013, Chavez died at age 58 in March after a battle of cancer. Maduro was chosen as his successor, and he's still up to now the president of Venezuela. So there's a lot of biodiversity in our country. We're home of around 20,000 plant species. 38% of these are endemic to the country, and more than species, specifically at the Amazon, at the Estado Bolivar state, on the south of the country near the Amazonas. So, I mean, this is like a huge reservoir of possible and potential cures for many diseases. So we have to preserve our rainforest because, I mean, it's a huge reservoir and a huge place to find medicines, for modern medicines, for research in our country. And also Venezuela, it's home of more than 1,000 bird species, 300 mammals, 315 amphibian species, and 341 reptile species. Our country reflects a blend of indigenous and Spanish customs, as well as regional Caribbean and Andean influences. People in Venezuela are described as warm, welcoming, and open people. And we have a mixed economy, which means it has characteristics of socialism and capitalism. And some of the main exports that Venezuela has are their natural resources. Like I said, oil is the main resource that we export. Petroleum, bauxite, aluminum, and other many minerals, and of course, agriculture in the world, and the coffee is very famous. And of course, due that Venezuela is located in a very strategic part of the region, front of the Caribbean Sea, and the role of Venezuela plays in global trade, it's huge, it's very important. So here are some more pictures of our jewels in our country. We have a snow at Pico Bolivar, Merida. We have Llanos, that it's sort of like a deserts. We have national parks. We have Los Roques, so hopefully you will go and visit them. Of course, we have many traditions. Family is very important. We love to gather on the weekends. We love to celebrate our cultural heritage. We love to celebrate and maintain our popular traditions. And of course, there are parades, musical performance that we keep very lively. And we have dancing costumes and parties such as religious celebrations like the Fiesta of San Juan with African drums and the celebration of Corpus Christi. And of course, this reflects the high value Venezuelan place on the traditions of the past. About our food, our most famous foods, of course, are the arepas, and the is made of rice, plantains, beans, and beef. And we have different foods depending on the region and some of the traditional dishes are served through Venezuela: the arepa, which is a cornmeal cake; the cachapa, which is made of sweet corn, and we stuff it with white cheese; and the cassava is made of yuca, and of course more near of the Caribbean, we is well known to eat a lot of fish and fresh foods. All right. Migration tendencies in Venezuela. Right now we're having the largest migration crisis in the world. Venezuela is a country with no war or natural disaster, so mainly this largest migration is due to persecution, violation of human rights, no opportunities for use for the future, and of course, the salaries in Venezuela are very, very low. So we're having the biggest migration and outflow in the history of Latin America. is the migration of Ukraine, the migration of Syria and Afghanistan, and we're the only country that, is not having a natural disaster, no war. So everything is due to political, social, and economic causes. All right, this is an example of the images that you see, the contrast of these images of our country. The first one, of course, is the geographical map that you can see of Venezuela. This is our country. And the picture, the second picture that you see resembles the proportion of people that have fled the country, all right? So apparently you can see that, a huge percent of the country is outside home in the United States, in Colombia, in Honduras, in Europe. So, it keeps increasing. More than 7.2 million have fled Venezuela since 2015. The number of Venezuelan immigrants in the United States has nearly tripled since 2010, coinciding, like I said, with a period of severe economic and political crisis. The Venezuela diaspora in the United States comprised of approximately more than 700,000 individuals who were either born in Venezuela or reported Venezuelan ancestry or origin. It's the sum of these two conditions, all right? This information is according to the MPA tabulation of data from the U.S. Census Bureau 2021. All right, other reasons why people is leaving the country is the need to seek employment in another country. This remains the main reason for immigrants, but family reunification is gaining importance. Since that a lot of young people is leaving the country, the demographic structure has changed abruptly to the loss of people of young ages. So we used to have on the early years, like the demographic structure, it was like a pyramid. So right now, through the years, this pyramid is turning. It's mainly with people from 50 years old to up, because the young people, the productive people, is leaving the country. So in 2022, the migration of different family members has increased, probably related to the process of family reunification that constitutes signs of a certain establishment of Venezuelan migrants in the countries of the state. About our educational tendencies, for Venezuela, it's very important to have a high school degree, to have a bachelor's degree, a university. We have a firm conviction that, and a very strong belief that the only way to overcome poverty is through education. The only way to have opportunities for the future is education. So for us, it's very important. We work very hard to get into a private university. So here are some facts about our population. Compared to all US immigrants, Venezuelans are far more likely to have a college degree. Venezuelanos have higher rates of educational attainment than both the native and overall foreign populations. And during 2022, the young people that stayed in the country, there was an increase in the percentage of enrollees in private campuses of different private universities. So primarily among populations between 12, 17, and 18 to 24 years old who will be studying secondary or university education. So the best education in our country, of course, is from private institutions, either high school or and they are also more likely to secure legal permanent resident, also known as getting a green card, after being granted humanitarian. So according to MPI Data Hub in 2021, approximately 57% of 25 and older report having a bachelor's degree or higher, compared to 35% of US-born Venezuela were born in the United States, and 34% of immigrant adults. So this is very important to us, like I said, and we work very hard to keep growing and to have our bachelor's degree and the university experience. So another tendencies is that Venezuelans participate in the labor force at much higher rates than the native born and the overall foreign born population. And about 74% of Venezuelan immigrants ages between 18 and older were in the civilian labor force in 2021. And Venezuelans were more likely to be employed in sales and office occupation, and of course, other roles as well. And so, where are concentrated Venezuelans in Florida, mainly in the counties of Miami and the areas of Fort Lauderdale, Pompano Beach, and Florida. The immigration population from Venezuela is estimated around 150,000. And the top counties by concentration were 3 counties in Florida, which are Miami-Dade, Broward, and Orange. So here are the three main and then 3 more important organizations that you can be in touch to get in touch with Venezuelan networkings, with Venezuelan migrants, with Venezuela companies, which are Venezuela American Chamber of Commerce. The second one is Hermanos de la Calle. It's an organization that, of course, gives help to Venezuelan immigrants, and also Cadena Organization is a Jewish organization that gives helps and gathers Venezuelan migrants and gives them, of course, legal services, orientation about their benefits, orientation about their rights, their benefits, and of course, I think that the Venezuela American Chamber of Commerce is the most important of them, but because not only gathers a very important amount of companies, but also a very important amount of social organizations dedicated to Venezuelans in the United States. And to finish, here's a sample of our music. We have the honor to, in Venezuela, to have the national system of orchestra and choirs of youth and children. And on 2021, we received the Guinness record for having the largest orchestra in the world, bringing together almost 9,000 musicians. They were kids and teenagers playing different instruments, from typical instruments to classic instrument, and they played the Slavic March by Tchaikovsky. And to finish my presentation, I would like to give a sample of our beautiful music, the Mayanera, played by the main orchestra of our country, which is the Simón Bolívar Orchestra, directed by Gustavo Dudamel. Gustavo Dudamel was the director of the Los Angeles Philharmonic, and now he is the designated director of the New York Philharmonic, and of course he's the main director of our orchestra, Venezuela Orchestra in our country. So enjoy. Do you hear it? No?
No.
I think I have to share the audio also.
But we can share the presentations out to everybody that's here.
Excellent.
If you just make sure that I have them all. Should
All
we
right.
move back to Ukraine?
Sure.
So should work. Boom.
You got
Yeah.
it.
You got
Perfect.
Okay, so
Perfect.
slide
So
from the beginning.
Mikola, remember to do a short introduction on yourself as well. I think Arivana skipped on that, even though she has an incredible background.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll jump into Ukraine.
Okay, do you see my
Yes, we see
slide?
it perfectly.
Okay, so let me tell about myself during my short story during the slides. Is it okay? Reuben?
Sure.
Okay.
As you like. Yeah.
I will tell something, okay? So you see the first slide, Ukraine, it's in Eastern Europe, yellow color, the country neighboring Poland, Belarus, Romania, and the biggest is Russia in red. Population of Ukraine was about 40 plus million people. And so I should make the pictures I should minimize your pictures probably. Yeah, okay. So the capital is Ukraine, 1200 years old. and a lot of Orthodox beautiful cathedral. You see a part of the Kiev, it's a capital. Christianity came to Ukraine 1,000 years ago. By the stories, Andrew the apostle came in this area and brought the gospel. So you can see also this memorial in the Second World War in Kiev. Also this cathedral, 900 years old. It's a Saint Sophia Cathedral. And a beautiful river on the divide Kiev into part, left bank Kiev and right bank Kiev. So, and short clip in Ukrainian language. I love my Ukraine.
Колись на землі народився, у дзвінкім солов'їнім краю, за моє босоноге дитинство, я люблю країну свою. За моє босоноге дитинство, я люблю країну свою. Тут я вперше піднявся на ноги, завжди на своєму стою. За поразки мої перемоги, я люблю країну свою. За поразки мої перемоги, я люблю країну свою. Я у пісню слова перелю, і повторить за мною крилато, і Дніпро, і Донбас, і Карпати. Я люблю країну свою, я люблю країну свою.
I love my Ukraine. So, main dishes, friends, we have a lot, but 4 main dishes. Of course, in the king of dishes is our special soup borscht. You see in the middle, it's a red color. Color came after beets, should be sour cream, and should be this bread. It's a borscht. The second on the left, you can see like a dumpling with potatoes inside. We love this dish. On the right side, homemade sausage. But I would say the main dish is in the bottom. It's just simple pork fat. For the Americans, it's a death. For us, it's like a life. Ukrainian cannot survive without pork fat, especially during winter period, dear friends. So these 4 are the main for us. It's just contemporary dress, Ukrainian dress. It's usually homemade, these flowers on these dresses. So it's nice, and we love it very much for kids and adults also. Okay, I am too loudly. Let us march 2022. Suburb of Kiev. We lived in suburb of Kiev, north of Kiev, city of Irpin. The war started 24th of February last year. 26th of February, Russian troops came to our city, and 12 days with my wife, we were in the midst of the war. But praise the Lord, in the last moment, people helped us to be evacuated. Our city destroyed 74%. You can see suburb of Kiev, north of Kiev, our city of Irpin. This picture, and we were emigrated under the bridge. We cannot see us with my wife, but we were here somewhere in the crowd. So we lost not only our home with my wife, but most important, we lost the sense of our home on the earth. Only heaven. So we became like pilgrims. We were in Romania, Bulgaria, Turkey, Malaysia, coming back to Ukraine. And finally, we came here from Ukraine in January this year. And so I wrote letter to my friends asking the question, what is the cold hell in Ukraine? The cold hell, as my point, is country when life of 30 plus millions of people were destroyed, 12 millions already left the country, 100,000 of people were killed. Cold hell when we had in January in the houses, our houses, 40, 35 degrees Fahrenheit, outside 10, 12, no electricity, no water supply, no telephone and internet. So I call it cold hell. But you know, friends, we had very developed country, developed industry, space program, nuclear stations, high IT technology. I personally have 4 doctorate degrees, 2 in metals alloy and 2 doctorates in university system. So I put maybe 30 years of my life for developing metals alloy and also preparing students for give them good knowledge. We had the biggest cargo airplane in the world. You see it. It's the biggest. Different plane, just very small, like Boeing or other. Compare with this cargo plane, we name it Dream, but now it's bombed. Doesn't exist. We have many nuclear stations for electricity. We were selling electricity for whole Europe, different high technology and developed science. Also, we have very rich black earth, 10% of the world's resources of black earth. You can put stick on this earth and then see in a couple of weeks a tree growing. And also this black, you see it, during the Second World War, NASA came and they were taking this layer, upper layer of the earth, bringing to Germany. So Ukraine was like a main bread basket for Europe, for Asia, and even Africa. The main features of our people, it's a higher education. We had a law. According to the law, everybody must be graduated after high school. And 60–70% are college and university graduates. Great ability to work, many workaholics, conservative values, because influence of Orthodox Church. I would say 80% of our population would say I am Orthodox Christian. So we have strongly family, strong, very like family, and we take care about it. And also Orthodox Church implemented in the people minds we are sinful. Of course, our people say, yes, I am sinful, but not so bad. My neighbor, maybe it's more sinful than I am, but it's reality. Our values is stability, community, security, fellowship. Most trustful organization is the church for Ukrainian. About 20,000 came to South Florida during last year. And our churches is It's a good illustration to help refugees. One of them, International Bible Church. You see a team of the church, and I also see on the right side, nice smiling man. And as I understand, it's probably Reuben maybe, yeah. And this church does a lot of meetings. It's World Church Service organized. This church contacting and helping more than 1,000 people. It's good. Organizing concerts, etc. Challenges. Western values, style of life. You know what? On the West, important values are individualism, competition, consumptions. If I would describe just one word, the most biggest motivator in the life, I would say success. Success is a great motivator in the Western life. And success based on several principles like power, money, fame, and sex. It's less now. So it's a challenge for our people. Second challenge, I would say, liberal school system for kids. We are against with a liberal system for kids, which even your governor, Mr. DeSantis, recently talked here. It's good he talked openly about it. So, and our families are very cautious about this situation in the school. We have language barrier. We need to organize special courses. Many Ukrainians don't know the American English language. Educational and professional adaptation, yeah, it's a challenge. And high cost of living, it's also, but we cannot change it. But many Ukrainians coming to Boca Raton, for instance, or Fort Lauderdale, they moving on the west coast of Florida. In fact, my family and I next week moving in Bradenton, west coast. It's a cheaper living there. So how to find Ukrainians? You know, Reuben, it's difficult to find us in the different clubs. It's not in our culture, but through Ukrainian churches, there is a list of it. Most of our Ukrainians here connecting with the churches through other families, through friends, etc. Through some organization like Florida for Ukraine and others. And also through social media. If you would give some advertisement, some information, I believe Ukrainians would answer on it. I am finished. Thank you very much, friends.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Next up would be Micaela.
Okay. All right. So I have I'm doing my presentation of Haiti. I am of Haitian descent. I was born in the United States, but I did move to Haiti at a very young age and reside in Haiti until I was 13 years old and moved to California. And I moved to Florida 10 years ago, and I will talk about Haiti. So the proper name of Haiti is called the Republic of Haiti. The island is located in the Western Hemisphere. It is one of the biggest islands in the Caribbean. It's sharing an island with the country, Dominican Republic. The island is known as Hispaniola. It has two of the world's greatest wonders. One of them is Palais Sans-Souci, and one of them is La Citadelle, which is the picture in the background. It is one of the world's most greatest wonders. Haiti is known for its mountainous hills and its beautiful beach. The language for Haiti is Creole and French. Soccer is the national sport. It is known as football, although we say soccer here in the United States. And I think an important information is that 60% of the population can read and write. So I would say about 40% of them are illiterate. So that's very important when it comes to this presentation. And 2010, it was the big earthquake that killed nearly 220,000 individuals. So Haitians are very proud of their heritage. Haiti is the first Black country that ever received their independence. It is one of the two countries in the Western Hemisphere that gained their independence. The United States was the first and Haiti was the second. And it was in January 1st, 1804. And over there, I have a picture of Haiti, and it's kind of the military, I guess. And I have a soup jumeau. Soup jumeau is the national meal for Haiti for January 1st, because jumeau is squash. The slaves weren't allowed to eat it. So when they won their independence against France, that was the meal that they made. So it is a tradition on January 1st that all Haitians eat soup jumeau for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and supper. My daughter hates it. After breakfast, she doesn't want it anymore, but it is very important to our culture. With whatever Haitian restaurants you go to on January 1st, they'll be having soup jumeau. Any family housing or anything is soup jumeau for January 1st. I have some of our food. Haiti is very rich when it comes to food. It brings our, people together. Haitian, there's a lot of Haitian restaurants in Miami. So the first group of Haitian that migrated to Miami started their own Haitian restaurants. So those restaurants are more like moms and pop restaurants. Most of them do not have seating areas, but the food are really good, so people come from everywhere, and it's, for lack of better word, usually little holes in the wall, like they call them, but the foods are amazing. So I have some of the Haitian food, what we are known for, the griot, which is fried pork, the Haitian rice, most people call it black rice, is called duri jonjon, and we have the epis, and then I have two of our most popular drink, which is the one babaku and the cremas there. So for music, we have many different genres. We have the compa, rabotage, troubadour, rara. I also have carnival. One thing about the Haitian culture, they love to celebrate no matter what. The country might be going to turmoil. They will still celebrate carnival, no matter what's going on. Even after the earthquake, which was the most devastating thing that happened in Haiti, they still had carnival. After the assassination of the president, they still had carnival. And even with everything that's going to politics, they still have carnival. So obviously music and celebration and carnival is very important to the culture. Not only that they have it in Haiti, they have it nationwide also in the United States and any other country that they have resettled in. As I mentioned earlier, they are very proud and very prideful of everything. So we have the Haitian Flag Day, which is May 18. Most people know about it because it's such a huge deal in our community. It's important. I think that's when it comes to Haitian Flag Day, if you want to interact or pass a message for the Haitian community, I believe Haitian Flag Day will be the ideal time for you to do that, to try to partner up with anybody that's having an activity during Haitian Flag Day, because you will see most of the population, whether there are recent migrant, people who have been living here for a while, or second generation Haitian, they are celebrating it. Which transitioned to Haitian Heritage Month, which became the month of May. So they celebrate Haitian Heritage Month, and any prime state that have, the Haitian community. Florida in general, and where, you know, they would have everything in South Florida and Orlando and Jacksonville. We have New York, we have Georgia, and recently is states like Indiana. So I have a picture of a calendar with, it's from 2019. We have a new one coming out for 2023. But as you can see, every day there is a different celebration for Haitian Heritage Month. And this one is geared to Florida. New Jersey have one, Philadelphia have one, but I guess you kind of have to pay attention to when this calendar come out. Again, that's where you will find the Haitian community, especially during Haitian Heritage Month, which happen to be in May. So next month, it will be the best time to collaborate with different organizations to get the word out. And whether it's a social event, a professional event, a family-friendly event, they're all in the calendar for Haitian Heritage Month. We transition to Florida. I know one important topic is understanding the Haitian community in Florida for this program. Haitians started to migrate. Well, I'm not going to say started to migrate, but the big influx of Haitian that migrated in Florida was in 1970. They used to call them, or they are known as the boat people, right? Because it was this huge boat that came after the whole devalue regime that was coming and requesting asylum in the United States. On December 12, 2022, we celebrated the 50 years of what is known as the Haitian boat people. So 50 years, I guess, in living in South Florida. And in the background, I have the Lato Haiti Cultural Center, because that's where most of them settled. That's where a lot of the Haitian community activities are set, whether it's for medical, social, professional. A lot of them are in the Lato Haiti area. The 2020 census counted 300,000 Haitian American, but these Haitian Americans are most of them are people who are resident or who have naturalized. They did not count any second generation Haitian. That I guess that would be someone like myself who was born in the United States, but consider themselves Haitian American, but in the census they're not counted, you know, or my daughter or anyone that's not born in the United States. And it also exclude migrants who are afraid to mention that they are in the country. So that's when it comes to the census, we try to encourage everyone in the household to account themselves, but unfortunately they don't because they're afraid of immigration. But in 2020, we did count 300,000 Haitian American. We do believe that the number is actually doubled, especially after the 2021 influx of Haitian that came into the border of Texas. The first group of Haitian that came were older people that were running from the devalue regime. They were a lot older. A lot of them was less educated, and they were looking for a better life in the United States. Right now, the new Haitian migrants that I believe will benefit from this program are younger, and they are a lot more educated than the first group of Haitians that came in. Also, they are multilingual because a lot of them came from Brazil and Chile, because after the earthquake of 2010, a lot of young Haitian migrated from Haiti to go to Chile, to go to Brazil, to go to Venezuela, and now they are coming to the United States. So these individuals speak French, Creole, Spanish, Portuguese, and they are willing to learn, they are willing to work, they're willing to re-educate themselves and wanting to go and integrate back into the community. So I do believe that is the target community or the target individual that we should be looking into for this program. We have accomplished a lot in the Florida area. I only focus on Florida. We have, I have been fortunate enough to meet a lot of them. We have Attorney Mackenzie Lapointe, who is the first Haitian American United States Attorney. We have Congresswoman Sheila Sheffield, which is the first Haitian American Congresswoman in the state of Florida. She is the second, and she's the second in the whole United States, but the first in Florida. We have a couple judge. We have Judge Lodi Jean, who is the first Haitian woman American in Miami-Dade County. We have Judge Serafin, who is the first Haitian American man judge in Miami-Dade County. We have Judge Yves Laventure, that's in Broward, and Judge Phoebe Francois, that is also in Broward. So from being poor people to 50 years later, a lot have been done, a lot have been accomplished. We are very proud. And this new generation that is coming, I do believe that they will take great advantage of this program. Our culture is very African-centered. When we receive our independence from France, I'm not going to receive, I guess when we took independence from France, we were shut down or cut off from the rest of the world. So our culture was built for over a century just by the different African culture that we knew. So we weren't interacting much with the outside world because of all the embargo and punishment that we were receiving for getting our independence from France. So Haitians are known for strong work ethics. They are the first to come, the last to leave. Even though we do have a unified identity when it comes to food, music, art, and spirituality. Haitians are very big with spirituality. They are greatly rooted into religion, whether it's Christianity, Catholicism, or Voodooism, they're extremely rooted into it. And no matter what, they're all going to church. Whether it's the Saturdays or Sundays, that's the church time, and no matter what, they're going. So that's one thing about the identity. But although we are unified when it comes to food, music, and art, and religion or spirituality, we are diverse internally. So that's very important to know, because there are urban people, there are rural people. And as they're coming from the different countries like Brazil and Chile, you will, once you interact with them, you will see the difference. There are a lot of them that are well educated, and there are a lot of them that are illiterate, that cannot write their name or sign anything. So regionalism is very big. I have, I guess, a little map of Haiti there. So they're very big of, I'm from the north, I'm from the south, I'm from the east or the west. Haitians are very big about which region they come from in Haiti. And they tend to stay within that region and within this group. They have, as I've already mentioned, they have a strong religious identity, diverse in education experience. It's so important to know that. Again, as you are trying to get more of that community and through your school, you will find that a lot of them will do well in easily advance and easily comprehend things based on their education, and another group, it will be extremely hard for them to move forward because they didn't have a proper education when they left Haiti, because earlier I mentioned only 60% of the Haitian population is educated, well, I guess have formal education. That's the word, formal education. Classism is very big, which is whether you are, classism is big within the Haitian community, whether you're wealthy, rich, or poor. Language, French and Creole is also a huge issue, although it's only been about 6 or 7 years, I believe, since Creole became the official language of Haiti. French was the official language of Haiti, even though only about 70% of the population spoke French. It was the official language of Haiti. So if you didn't speak French, you weren't seen as, you had to speak French. You weren't seen as educated, you know? So that has been a huge issue for a lot of individuals. So it's the individual that can speak Creole and French and the individual that can only speak Creole. From my experience, I was not allowed to speak Creole until I came to the United States. So it's very different. It's a different dynamic now that I'm older and you're seeing people, professionals speaking Creole. So that's very big. And now the new thing is the diaspora. So now it's a different class, is whether you're a diaspora that have been outside the country or in the country. So those are the new, I guess that's the diverse internally that you have to pay attention to when you paying attention to the Haitian culture. Here I have a list of different Haitian communities, Haitian professional coalitions, networks, and manner of communication that you can reach the Haitian community. I have a long list. I can definitely share it after. We have SANTLA, which is a social service group that does a lot of work for recent arrival and Haitian that have already been migrated. With helping them with the taxes, job placement, education, learning English. They do a lot of that. We have Catholic Legal Services that see a lot of the Haitian migrants that help them with the immigration status. We have Family Action Network and so on. So I have a whole list of them, of different organizations that you can always contact and to see if you can be in connection with the Haitian community. The type of communication that the Haitian community listens to so they can get the news is definitely the Pima Book Radio. You will find that radio on in every restaurant you go to, and most elderly homes have that radio just going on and running all day, and that's how they listen to the news and listen to any opportunity they have. If there's a new immigration rule that comes out, they will come to the office and say, hey, I heard this from Pima Book, or I heard this from Island TV, or Shekinah FM. Shekinah FM is actually church radio station. As I mentioned, they're very rooted into the spirituality that give any updates. So being in connection with these different communication tools will also help get the word out that you offer the program that you offer. And you will find the mass group of Haitians in the North Miami area, Kendall area, Little Haiti area, Miramar, Pembroke Pines, Orlando. Of course, there's other everywhere around Florida, but this is where I guess I would say the main group of Haitian could be found, or the Haitian community could be found around Florida. And right here, I have two pictures of my family and I when we were young in Haiti. I am actually in the far left in both pictures, and that is it for Haiti. If you have any question, I am ready to respond.
Okay, thank you so much. Teresa, we're going over an hour. Is that okay?
Well, we don't want to miss out on our other speakers. We
I know.
some of our guests might need to drop off, but we will have it recorded and we will clip out all of the technical difficulties for anybody who wants to watch the end later. So I say we keep going.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Just wanted to check up. Teresa, I sent you the Brazilian PDF, so you can share it because Laura's having technical difficulties as well. Okay. So if you can please pull that up for her.
Okay.
Okay. So my name is Laura Calixto. I am a Brazilian. I was born and raised in Brazil. Can everyone hear me? Yeah. I moved to the US at about 12 years ago. I came here for a year to study English, and here I am. And I have a degree in psychology and social work. I'm also an airplane pilot, work in South Florida and interviewing with the major airlines to move to next level. Okay, so Brazil is a country, a large country in South America, and we are the fifth economy and the biggest economy right now in South America. And we make borders with all these different countries in South America. We're the only one that speak Portuguese, and the other ones speak either French or Spanish. We also have rich culture and of native culture in Brazil, and over 300 dialects are spoken in Brazil as well. Okay. Brazil, like I said, is a very large country. We have over 214 million people living in Brazil and growing. And the Brazil is divided in 5 major regions. And on the northern side, in green, it's mostly composed of the Amazon, very rich. Like Venezuela, we border Venezuela and we share the Amazon, and our biodiversity there is incredible, and there's a lot of indigenous people living in this region as well in the northern eastern side of Brazil, where we have the Atlantic Ocean. And in the southeastern region of Brazil are our major cities. Well, we have major cities in the whole country, but the biggest cities, São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, are in the southern eastern region. The south region, we have mountains. We border also Argentina, Paraguay, Uruguay. And in the central west region, I used to say it's the Texas of Brazil. We have a big production of, agriculture and as well as agropecuaria, which is development of farms and cows. Okay, next. Okay, so Brazil became a country 500 years ago. With the arrival of the Portuguese, but we have a long history of indigenous people. In Brazil, there is history of their presence 10,000 years. And they say it's even longer than that. Okay. So these people, a lot of them have migrated to the cities. They have adapted to city life, but millions of people still live the indigenous lifestyle. This is some of their culinary. My grandfather was from an indigenous tribe, and this kind of food is very present today in my family, for example. On the right side is tapioca flour, is kind of like an arepa or it's a kind of a bread made from cassava flour. It's in the form of tapioca. On the left side is bananas made in the fire. On the lower part is fish cooked in banana leaves. And on the right left is tea, what we call or holy grass. We have a wide diversity of plants that are used not just as food, but as well as medicine. This kind of tea has several benefits to our bodies and mind. And okay, next slide, please. There is a very rich culture of natural medicine in the Amazon, and today in Manaus, which was one of our entrance city to the Amazon, we have the Natural Medicine Institute, where we learn from indigenous people, integrating their kind of medicine into the Western world. These are some of their traditions. On the right upper side, you can see an indigenous person taking piece of the tree. They are looking for rubber. Rubber comes from a tree in the Amazon, and it's a very rich culture, very rich naturally speaking, as well as the knowledge that is in the Amazon is incredible. With 500 years ago, the Portuguese conquistadores arrived in Brazil, and they integrated with the indigenous people. Of course, it was a big shock for the indigenous community, but also, we have a big country, and the conquistadores came to stay, and they developed Brazil into a country and exploited the all beautiful, rich country. Next. With them, they brought their cultures and their food and their knowledge as well, and the religion. A lot of 60% of Brazilians today are Christian. We have beautiful architecture throughout the whole country. On the right side is a sample of architecture of first city. It's called Salvador. It's on the northwestern part of Brazil. On the left side, it's a park in Rio de Janeiro. In the center lower part is a picture of the Christ Redeemer, in Portuguese, Cristo Redentor. It's a statue of Christ, and one of our major places and all major icons in Brazil that also show the devotion of Brazilians for Christianity. On the both the other pictures, there are food that the Portuguese brought, and then we eat them, and it's delicious. So I want to invite everyone to go to a Portuguese Brazilian restaurant. There is some in South Florida, and try these dishes. With the Portuguese arriving in Brazil, their ships they also brought a lot of people from Africa to work in Brazil fields and the coffee and sugar plantations. A lot of we were the country in the entire world to receive more Africans, and the last one to make slavery illegal. So the African culture is very strong in our culture. African Brazilian culture is very strong, very present, and the integration that was made, indigenous, Europeans, and Africans in Brazil is very unique and very beautiful. Here is a picture from the times where there was enslaved people from Africa who, to defend themselves and to, live, they developed martial arts and dances to celebrate their culture, because even though they came from Africa to Brazil, they did not lose their culture and their personality. So they brought them with them, and it was also integrated in the culture. This next slide, please. This is how capoeira started. I don't know if you have ever seen these in any city in the world. Obviously, one of our marks is capoeira is a martial art as well as a dance and a celebration of life and resistance. And it integrates also music and amazing abilities. The African Brazilians, they did not only bring to resistance, but they also brought a beautiful culture with them. You can go back to the next slide. In the left upper side, you can see these ladies are dressed in one of their religions that they brought is candomblé, and there is a Brazilian religion that was born from the integration of candomblé and Brazilian culture, which is Umbanda, very present in our country as well. They also brought their culinary abilities with them. On the right lower side, it's a dish called feijoada, which is a bean and pork stew, one of our most delicious foods developed by enslaved Africans, and today is our national dish. The music is of this integration is also an amazing part of our history. Even Michael Jackson couldn't resist it, so he went to Brazil to experience it, and is a picture of him. You can also find it on YouTube, Michael Jackson in Brazil. On the left side, left lower side, there's a picture of one of our dishes that you can also try here in Florida. It's a shrimp and fish dish served in a pumpkin. And on the middle is one of our dishes called acarajé, which is very iconic to the African Brazilians. Next, please. Brazil is very proud to be a country not making war in the world, but making peace and contributing to the world peace. And on the left upper side is not a picture of Japan, it's a picture of São Paulo, which houses the biggest Japanese community outside of Japan. These people migrated to Brazil during the First and Second World War. On the lower part of the slide is not Germany. It's a picture of a city in Brazil as well, south of Brazil, which a region that houses people from all over Europe, a big community of Germans, Italians, Polish, and all the different countries. The right side has a picture of our biggest city, São Paulo, which a lot of these people live. Okay, next. And of course, with people, there comes the culinary. And so Brazil is very big, very rich, and it has different, colors, different flavors, and you can try all of these in Florida and different restaurants. So this shows the influence of different cultures in Brazilian culture. Brazilian person can look like anyone in the world. I'm very proud to say that. And just like the US, we are a country of diversity. And in Brazil, with this diversity also comes different minds think better, right? Different minds can develop different amazing things. So Brazil is a house for different car manufacturers. All of these brands that you see in the picture, they are also made in Brazil. So a lot of factories. We're very proud to have an aircraft manufacturer called Embraer, and making some of the best aircraft in the world. We also have big production of coffee, soy. We also export over 20% of the beef eaten in the entire world, and big production of petroleum as well. Next. Why do Brazilians leave Brazil? Right? Why we live this beautiful country with very lovely diversity, cities and countryside, and because our country is for being so big and having so many people and also hosting a lot of people from different parts of the world. We have many challenges, and Brazil economy and politics can be unstable, and so we live, for example, in the US. US is one of our favorite countries to come to because of our similarities. We are very diverse, as well as the US. We are we are looking for a better life for ourselves and our families. And a favorite of Brazilians is Florida, because we are a tropical country, and with the close proximity of Florida and the climate and that diversity, we find ourselves at home in Florida. The Sunshine State, we say the Sunshine Country is Brazil, and the Sunshine State is Florida. So our national sport is soccer. Brazilians even bought a soccer team in Orlando called Orlando City, and now we have a team to cheer for. We also so 22% of Brazilians obtaining permanent residency in the United States are in Florida, and 60% of the Brazilians live in Florida, divided between Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach area. Usually the Brazilian immigrant population in Florida is young. It's usually college age, and looking for opportunities, looking to have higher education, which is a challenge in our country. And usually people come already with a high school diploma or with a college degree, looking to have even higher education. We strive to speak English. We speak Portuguese in Brazil. We come here, a lot of people learn Spanish as well, and but we always strive to speak English and integrate into the system here. Okay, here are some of the long history organizations that you can find Brazilians. You'd say have a look at the website for the Brazilian American Chamber of Commerce of Florida. Over there, there are many events that they post on their website. The events are from Carnival, from you can try the food, but also there are educational events, as well as career fairs and places and events that you can look to meet Brazilians, integrate, and get to know more about our culture. Okay, so what do Brazilians need to succeed in the United States and to contribute to the country? I would say, of course, educational opportunities. Education is expensive. We need help we come here, we immigrate to this country. We cannot afford to have higher education without the help of different organizations in this country. We also need legal documents to be able to work and legally and have peace of mind while we're trying to build our careers and contribute to this country. And of course, job offers. And here's a picture of me certainly in my culture in Brazil, and here is in my profession. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be part of this panel and learn about so many different cultures and show you a little bit of Brazil.
Beautiful. I really love that photo with you with the feathers and the indigenous culture. Really, really beautiful. Okay, so our last panelist, this is a long class today, but really, really interesting nonetheless. We have Abdul Khalil Hassani. He's representing Afghanistan. He's going to be speaking about Afghanistan without a PowerPoint presentation, but he has a lot to say. Really interesting story. His story is incredible, and with a few important points about Afghans in Florida. Go ahead, Abdul.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm honored to represent my country, and it's a pleasure to see you all. Interesting story, especially Laura Capoeira. I'm in that. Hello again. My name is Khalil. I come from Afghanistan. I live in Miami, and I'm honored to represent my country and my experience and my work, my employment with Church War Service. This is my second time being refugee. The first time it was 1999 when the Taliban invaded my country. Most of us escaped to Pakistan. So after the Taliban lost power in Afghanistan, we went back to my country and I started working as a translator for US Air Force. So I became a translator and I worked for almost 5 years. So my country, Afghanistan, has a long, fascinating and interesting history, more than 5,000 years. And it's called the Graveyard of Empire. So historians suggest that humans were living in Afghanistan at least 50,000 years ago, and that farming communities of the region were among the earliest in the world. So in the Middle Ages, my country or Afghanistan up to 18th century, this region was known as Khorasan. So because I come from an Islamic religion, because of the holy month of Ramadan, our Eid, my apology that I could not get a chance to create a power plan, but I'm still gonna share my screen with my browser. Working?
Yeah, we see it. We see it.
Okay. So my country, Afghanistan. Can everyone see it?
Yeah, we can see it. We see it perfectly.
It's a mountainous and landlocked country located in the center of Asia, and it's bordered by Pakistan, Iran, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and China. Afghanistan has 34 provinces, and Kabul is the capital. Each province is famous for its historical and ancient places. So there are still remains of Greek Romans in my country. There are still remains of from 300 BC in Afghanistan, like up in the Oxus River, like we call Amu River. This is the longest river in Asia, the Great Alexander. You know, there are multiple Alexanders. So I'm talking about the Egyptian, Egypt pushed all the way to Amu River, and he wanted to establish like Greek. He wanted to establish Greek education system to educate locals and Greek model. He was in it for the long game. Like this, he wanted to establish Kandahar and establish like this was part of Greece and wanted this to become Greek. So as you see, the places, this is the Iconam located in the east north of Afghanistan. It still has a lot of ancient things that people are still working in that government like the people who has power don't allow people work in that. And here is some cool story, really cool and so interesting period of like there was a Greco-Buddhism in Central Asia. There was one of the Greco-Bactrian king, Menander. Actually, he converted to Buddhism. The Buddha that were carved in the mountain, so they are the status of the Buddha, like Greco style. This was located in Bamyan province, like 22 years ago, Taliban demolished this. There were three of this, like a mother, a son, and father. And each sculpture had ways, holes into that. So Taliban destroyed this. People used to come from all over the world to see and take picture of this. And it does not exist anymore. Also, this Buddhism existed from very long time ago, like in Nuristan. Nuristan is a province that did not convert to Islam until the end of 18th century. Finally, when they were forcibly converted to Islam, they before it was named Kafiristan, which means like the land of infidels. And when they forcibly were converted to Islam, they changed the name of Kafiristan to Nuristan, which means like the land of enlightened. Everyone can see it, right? As I said, every province has a lot of places, like historical places, like we have in Kabul. Kabul is the capital. The most, like the oldest, the ancient place in Kabul is the Balaisar. It's in a mountain, like it's still used as a military use or military base that no enemy or no power can attack this. So when there was no weapons, like people used to fight with swords, with wood, this thing. This is a masjid. We say mosque. This was made by a king who had two swords with two hands, and he was fighting against the enemies until he was killed at this place. And this was named by the name of that guy, that person, like Shahid Dushamshira, means like the king of two swords. This mosque has been demolished several times, and our president, like the kings, they built it several times. Also, we have Kandahar. Kandahar is so famous with its pomegranate. This is the world's like the sweet, and it's very famous for it does not have seeds. We export it to a lot of countries, India. This pomegranate is only found in Kandahar. So about our musics, according to the cultural and religious, most of the people don't like music, but our national music is Atan. Like they have, we wear specific and traditional clothes, also man and woman. Like they call it Gande Afghani gun, which is handmade, and they spend like 1 month, 2 months sewing or making such dress for ladies. Music in my country, there is no electric instrument. It's all handmade. Also, our another famous instrument is dambura. This exists in every province, but right now, no one is able to use it because of the politic or the people that have power now. So we have different types of famous food, and the most famous one is oshak. This is not something easy. It needs a lot of things. Well, like we call it dumpling, and they have like onions, meat, some other vegetable, and of course we have kebabs. We have different type of kebabs like shomi kebab, tikka kebab, chopan kebab. So here in Miami, we have a restaurant in Coral Spring, and that's called Miami kebab. If you get a chance, you can go and you can taste our Afghani kebab there. And of course, bulani. Bulani is one of the famous and very affordable food that you can find everywhere, and it's very cheap and also very delicious. That even my coworkers, even Reuben, he has tasted it. And our culture, whenever we go to a king's home or a beggar's home, anywhere, they offer us chai. So chai is something that we drink after every meal. Some people like 3, 4, 10 times a day. Some people just after every meal, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we have green tea and black tea. Some people take it with sugar or cookies or some sweets. Also, we have another culture. This is made only by the ladies. What they do, they put the wheat in a dish or something, and it remains there until it grows. After they grind it and they put it in a big dish or big pot. So they boil it all the night, and someone just doesn't let it like get burned. Then in the next morning, they put it in the small cups and issue it to our neighbors, to anyone. Then with the cups, they put some money, sweets, or something for the return. So we have a place in Afghanistan, Pamir. Pamir is the highest mountain in Afghanistan. When you go there, it is difficult to inhale oxygen there. And we still have people there that don't know what our currency is, or who is the president, or if there any cell phone exists or not. So these people, when they trade something, they just trade animals with like with wheat, and what they only like, they have lands, animals, and they have never ever come to the city. So nobody has gone to this place. Only for the last 5 years, some reporters went there and took some pictures. So Pamir was kind of like a secret place and hidden. Lastly, between the Amu River and Kokcha River, these two rivers are the very famous river in Asia. We have mountains that look like Olympic Peninsula. Like if there was peace, if there were peace, like the Olympic or the like World Cup would be held there. So I hope the peace comes there once, and we all can travel back there. So the reason that there has been war in all the decades in my country is because Afghanistan is a self-sufficient that has everything, like all the resources, like aluminum, uranium, copper. This is the reason that our neighborhood country do not want peace in my country. If peace comes to my country, we will be the one to use the Kokcha River, the Amu River, the copper, the uranium. Because of that, when there is not peace, our neighbor countries or using our resources. So I'm gonna finish this, and here in Miami, like when our government collapsed, about 70,000 people were evacuated to Afghanistan. They were sent to different states. And here in Miami, if you want to find Afghan people, or if you wonder where they can be found in all our mosques and masjids. When they go, they are very interested to talk and discuss with other Muslims, because leaving your country, leaving your home and family, everything behind is not an easy task. Like when we first came to Miami, everything was so new to us. Like as I said, we come from an Islamic religion. We eat only halal food, like halal meat that the animal must be slaughtered by a Muslim. And when we used to ask some people about halal food, nobody was like, nobody knew what it is. Like everybody, what is that? So we have a group chat made by Charitable Service. We still have our Afghan people in that, and I'm gonna write my email in the chat. If you want to like help my people, get them a job, you can always feel free to contact me. Thank you, everybody. It was so pleasure to be among you.
All right. Thank you so much, Khalil. Thank you, everyone that participated. We went on to 2 hours. And I think that's very indicative of how much we have to learn, how much there is of diversity. And this was just a few countries. I was planning to have another panelist. We would have been here until the nighttime. But it just shows how much we have to learn, how many ideas these diverse groups have to contribute here in Florida, and how they can participate with FLATE and different programs, right? So I think maybe Teresa later on could share their contact information if they want more information about them. And then hopefully we can put FLATE in contact and different groups in contact with Brazilians, with Ukrainians, with Venezuelans, with Haitians, with Afghans, and make Florida flourish in so many ways. And I want to thank the panelists for their time and sharing their heart with us, because that came out of heart. Their food, their music, their culture, and also education and how to contact them. And also Teresa, thank you for putting this together, and Ernie as well. Marilyn, thank you for the introduction. Really, really appreciate it.
Is there anybody, we had quite a few people who stayed for the whole time. Is there anybody that had any questions for the panel, or feel free to unmute yourselves and ask it, or put it in the chat. But definitely follow up if you can. If you send me the presentations, I'll combine them and send them out to everybody who registered, and include the contact information as well.
Sounds good. Good. Sounds good.
I don't hear any questions. Okay. All right. Thank you so much to all the panelists, and to you, Reuben, for facilitating.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for being here. And again, for any other information, feel free to contact me as well. And I'm happy to put everyone in contact with each other. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good afternoon.
Thanks. Have a blessed day.
Ciao.